About a year ago, I made a video called After DayZ 1.15, What's Next? It was a feature wishlist for DayZ for 2022 where I suggested my thoughts on some simple mechanics that would expand the gameplay, some of which was already partially implemented. That video did considerably better than I expected and I was surprised to see how well it did. So this year, I'm gonna do the same for After DayZ 1.19, What's Next? This is a DayZ feature wishlist for 2023. Before I begin, please make sure to do all the things on screen so I can keep the heater running this winter. First, I want to give a shout out to the DayZ devs for seeing my video. My heart melted when they replied and I loved them to death. With that being said, the features that I had in last year's wishlist were ponchos and umbrellas, cooking meals, and distraction tools like throwing rocks. The cool thing is that DayZ did actually add one of those features into the game. With the addition of the kitchen timer, the alarm clock, and the recent changes to sound effects on thrown objects, you can properly distract zombies now. So for my feature wishlist this year, I want to keep the same general rules. The features must be small, but have a large impact, something that will diversify the gameplay, but hopefully isn't too large of a change. Here are the features I really want to see in DayZ in 2023. Throwing weapons. This one is pretty simple because it already exists in the game. The only thing that is missing is the damage. If I throw a cleaver at an enemy and it so happens to hit that enemy, at the very least there should be some damage applied or a bleeding effect. If you extend that into the stealth system, you now have a stealthy throwing knife mechanic that is slightly safer to do, but you risk losing your weapon. Malnutrition. This feature can go a few different ways. If you don't eat enough food and are going from location to location struggling to find scraps to eat, there should be a noticeable difference in how your character moves and behaves. This can be lumped in with the other diseases and conditions that alter the player's health. Alternatively, not having a balanced diet with enough meat or vegetables could also be a way to force players to scavenge for what they really need. This could also give the multivitamins an additional use to solve malnourishment. Chicken coops. This feature expands on the already existing chickens and the chicken coops you can see in-game. Realistically, if you search a chicken coop that has or had a chicken nearby, there should be some eggs or even some feathers in there. The eggs would be a great source of food that would benefit fresh spawns as they scavenge rural locations. If you had the ability to build your own coop for your base and throw a few chickens in there, you effectively have a renewable source of food as long as you throw in some worms for the chickens. And that is my feature wish list for DayZ in 2023. Like I said, these are small features and are already partially implemented, so it isn't unrealistic to see them in game one day. On that note, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to do all the things on screen, and I will see you when 1.20 arrives.